Moby Arena for bonus coverage of Colorado State Volleyball. My name's Matthew Wozniak. Thrilled to be with you after 6 days. Colorado State Volleyball in a bit of a Schrodinger's cat thing. They didn't know whether their season was alive or dead, but you opened up the box on Sunday night, and head coach Tom Hilbert, you got that at-large berth. But before we talk about the thing at hand, let's talk about the other great news for Colorado State Volleyball, the Mountain West postseason honors. 5 members of Colorado State on that squad. Tom, let's start on the outside and move our way in. You had Jasmine Hanna and you have Sonia Cheesmich. Going into the season, there were some question marks about how significant and how consistent your outside hitters were going to be. They answered.
Sonia had not played the position before for us. And so they did both answer. They were both solid and really the anchors for us all season long. And I think even though neither of them were in the top 10 in kills per set, that showed the balance that both of them had a lot of kills per set. So I think they were great players, and they played consistently all year long, and I think that was reflected in those votes by the coaches.
Was there anything in particular that maybe you noticed from the beginning of the season to the end, the progression of their improvement throughout the season?
Well, I think with Jasmine, you really saw her step up in big situations. She had not done that in previous years. This year, when it came down to crunch time, she stepped up and got kills for us. I remember several matches where the rest of the team were playing on very averagely, and she comes up and really cleans it up for us.
Absolutely. And then we look in the middle. Lexi Poletto, she was a preseason selection, so that's not really a surprise. But Kirsti Hillier maybe was to a lot of people. Let's talk about the strengths of your middle. Obviously, the blocking is there.
They both were very highly ranked in blocking and hitting efficiency, and Kirsti Hillier, when she is on, she's very difficult to stop, and I think a lot of coaches recognize that. She wasn't as consistent as Lexi, but when she was good, she was really, really good, and I you know, that just shows. But she's a freshman, so she's going to get better.
And that leads right into the newcomer of the year, the redshirt freshman, Kirsti Hillier, you mentioned. How hard is it for her, and she had mentioned in her comments after learning of the award that her redshirt year was very important for her development. Then you bring in a brand new setter. That's got to be really, really hard. How difficult is it for a kid like that to just improve and get on the same page with your setter?
You know, it's hard. I mean, that's a big challenge for the setter and all of the players. We're lucky we have a very, very competent young setter in Katie Oleksak. And, you know, my philosophy was let's go out, let's get functional. Don't overcrowd her brain with too much. Let her go play and see what kind of improvements we can make here and there. And I thought she was very good.
And that was the final award there for Colorado State. Katie Oleksak, the freshman of the year. You just said that. Let's get to the big picture here. So Sunday nights, it's been a while since you've had to sweat through an at-large opportunity. Your name pops up. Obviously, everyone saw it on social media. It was a fantastic moment. What was it like in the room? You had to know it all along, right? You were cool as a cucumber. Come on.
I didn't know it all along. I thought we were going to get selected, but the minute the show started, I felt like it was the 5th set of a match, and my heart rate started going up, and you know, it was like, okay, now it's time. You know, I've been telling the team all week, I think we're getting in, and we came up pretty early in the show, and that was
Thank
good.
Goodness. Yeah, absolutely. And another thing about it, then, this is where I come into some of the comments that I made, and this is what you can address. 3 teams from the Mountain West get it in. This is a case of where rising waters lift all boats, and it's been a one-bid league for a long time. That's got to make you feel really good that the Mountain West is showing its competitive streak.
Absolutely, it does. We set out on a scheduling sort of philosophy a couple years ago. It's paying off. A lot of teams in the Mountain West had winning records outside of conference, and that helped all of us as we went through conference with our RPIs either stabilizing or going up. And so it was good, and this was a good year, and I think you do see some very good teams in this league all returning a lot of players, so it'll continue.
Yeah, and let's worry about this weekend. You start on the road in Seattle, Washington hosting the pod for your region, and you get Kentucky. Now, we're not really interested in scouting reports at this point in time, and my own philosophy is the hay's in the barn. What does your squad need to do to advance past that first round?
Well, we got to understand that they're more athletic than any team we've played in a while, probably since Texas, but they're the same type of team that we're used to seeing in terms of the serving and passing thing. We can take some advantage of that. We have to serve and pass well. I mean, it's the same things are going to win, but they do have some incredibly athletic people playing in different positions, but so do we. You know what I mean? So it's like we have to just match up with them, understand they're going to be hitting higher than Boise State does, for example, and we'll handle them fine.
Yeah, at this point in time, 64 teams, everybody is good. You're not going to walk into anybody and get any cakewalks here. So final question for you on your offensive side of things is, as you look at your attack, I just mentioned those players. You've got two Mountain West players on the outside. You've got on the inside. Is it just the combination, the balance that you're looking for, or will one of those factors be maybe a deciding factor for you come Friday?
I think we're going to have to block well, and that's going to come from Livia Nicholson, Kirsti Hillier, Lexi Poletto, Katie Oleksak, who is a very good blocker, and then Jasmine Hanna has to handle the slides. That's if we start off doing that, that gets us on an equal footing with them, and then we can play volleyball and see who wins.
Well, Colorado State had a week to prepare. Not sure what was going to happen, but here they are. They had their wishes answered, and they will play for the 22nd consecutive year in the NCAA tournament. Coach, we'll come back with hopefully a positive recap, but congratulations on the bid. Go get them.
Thank you very much.
That's Tom Hilbert. We'll be back right here with all the recap at CSURams.com on Ram Vision. Thanks for joining us.